After Ukraine hit Russian long-range airfields and delivered one of the most sensitive blows of the entire war, the Kremlin's nerves snapped. Former Russian Prime Minister Medvedev essentially revealed Moscow's true goals on Telegram, stating that the talks in Istanbul are not needed for a compromise peace on unrealistic conditions invented by someone, but for a speedy victory and the complete destruction of the neo-Nazi government. These words were a direct admission that the negotiations were nothing more than a smokescreen. Against the backdrop of huge losses in aviation and unsuccessful rounds in Istanbul, the Russian leadership seemed to have decided to play for broke at the cost of the final collapse of its international reputation. The backlash was immediate. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham publicly thanked Medvedev for a rare moment of truth, saying, "Thank you for your honesty. The whole world now understands that Putin and Russia are not interested in peace." This attack was not just an ironic remark. In the American political system, such statements are used as a basis for new sanctions decisions. According to information from Congress, a group of senators is already preparing to expand the sanctions list against Russian banks, industry, and suppliers of dual-use technologies. Experts note that this emotional tone, characteristic of Medvedev in recent years, is this time caused not by rhetoric, but by real weakness. After the loss of up to 20 strategic bombers, according to U.S. intelligence estimates, the Kremlin has found itself in a vulnerable position. Instead of explanations, there are threats. Instead of diplomacy, there is a belligerent pose. Political scientists call Medvedev's statement an admission of failure that will only accelerate Russia's international isolation. Medvedev not only demonstrated the inadequacy of the Kremlin's approach to negotiations, but also gave the US and its allies a clear reason to tighten their policies. And if Washington had long been looking for a legal justification for new sanctions, now the vice chairman of the Russian Security Council himself has given it to them voluntarily, against the backdrop of yet another failure in the war. Recall, SBU announced the official losses of enemy aircraft after Operation Web. The department's press service published a statement stating that as a result of today's attack by Ukrainian drones, the enemy lost 34% of its strategic cruise missile carriers. The total cost of the damaged aircraft was $7 billion. The department promised to provide details of the operation later. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte has reaffirmed the alliance's commitment to Ukraine in its war against Russia. According to Associated Press, speaking alongside Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov ahead of a Ukraine Defense Contact Group meeting, Rutte said the meeting was taking place at a moment when the Russians are still attacking innocent people in Ukraine cities. "This is violence for the sake of violence, and you can be assured that NATO, the allies, stand with you," Rutte said, ahead of a meeting of the Ukraine Contact Group, which brings together Ukraine's Western backers to ensure Kiev gets more military aid. The U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth will be absent from the meeting for the first time since the group was set up 3 years ago. He will arrive in Brussels after it's over. Rutte repeated his assertion from earlier in the day, saying U.S. President Donald Trump remains committed to the EU's aims. "What we need to achieve is a durable and lasting peace, and I commend President Trump's efforts to get there," he said. Ukraine's Minister of Defense Rustem Umerov said Ukraine wants peace, but suggested tensions remain with the U.S. president. "We have supported the initiative from President Trump from February. Ukraine sends its teams all the time for the negotiations, but we see that at the moment ultimatums continue," Umerov said. "We are thankful to all the nations for their support, and hopefully today we will have some good announcements, very productive meetings as always, and hope to achieve unity and show our resilience and signal of unity once again."
Rustem, warm welcome again to NATO headquarters. We will have today our Ukraine Defense Contact Group with many ministers attending. And this takes place at a moment when the Russians are still attacking innocent people in Ukraine, cities. This is violence for the sake of violence. And you can be assured that NATO, the allies, stand with you to continue the support for Ukraine through our command in Wiesbaden. We are capturing all the lessons through our joint. What we need to achieve is a durable and lasting peace. And I commend President Trump's efforts to get there. I'm so glad that you are personally and also your senior colleagues involved in bringing this conflict to a durable end. And let's pray that we will get there as soon as possible. But in the meantime, making sure that you have what you need to stay in the fight and to make sure that whenever it ends, that Putin will know that he should never, ever again try to attack Ukraine. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Ukraine wants peace. We have supported the initiative of President Trump from February. Ukraine sends its teams all the time for the negotiations, but we see that at the moment ultimatums continue. We're thankful to all the nations for the support, and hopefully today we will have some good announcements, very productive meetings as always, and hope to achieve unity and show our resilience and signal of unity once again.
NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte said the U.S. is on the same path as the European Union and its allies in its commitment to make sure the collective brings lasting and durable peace to Ukraine. According to Associated Press speaking in Brussels ahead of a Ukraine Defense Contact Group meeting, which brings together Ukraine's Western backers to ensure Kiev gets more military aid, Rutte commended U.S. President Donald Trump. "What I think is we really have to commend is the fact that President Trump broke the deadlock, because still January this year there were no direct conversations ongoing between the US and Russia, and I think it was important that Trump did this," Rutte said. "Of course, this is not easy, and we have to make sure that we bring Ukraine to a lasting and durable peace. This is exactly what the US wants, what all the allies want, of course what Ukraine wants." The U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth will be absent from the meeting for the first time since the group was set up 3 years ago. He will arrive in Brussels after it's over. Rutte said Hegseth's absence from the meeting should not be interpreted negatively, insisting the U.S. is completely committed to NATO and its joint endeavors with the EU when it comes to Ukraine. "There's no reason to doubt that, and whether someone is participating, yes or no, in each meeting, let's not forget, these meetings take place most of the times in Europe, so it will not always be possible for U.S. officials to participate in every meeting," Rutte said. Wednesday's meeting at NATO headquarters is being chaired by the UK and Germany.